When talking to customers, one thing that becomes very clear is how important user experience is. But how does a customer offer the best user experience to users, give them flexibility and the choice of how they work, but still maintain 100% compliancy and ensure that their data is still kept secure? A user obviously wants access to apps and data to be able to work. They want the best user experience. They want something easy and simple to use, which is probably why they prefer to use their own devices, because they're familiar to them. But you start to see some very difficult challenges within IT and the business. How can they give their users access to their own devices if they can't control them? They can't set standards. How can they give users the ability to work from home because they've got to keep the data secure and locked away, and they don't want it outside of their own domain? At Citrix, we offer our customers the best of both worlds. The flexibility to have secure access to apps and data without compromise. What is the one thing that all our users need access to? It's data. With my workspace that you see here, it's the data that follows me, regardless of what device I'm using, the location that I choose to work, whoever I choose to collaborate with, but at the same time, it's all done securely and without risk to the business. So let's take a look at the day in the life of my data, and let me show you around my workspace. Today, I'm working in the office on a thin client using a Windows 10 virtual desktop. I have a customer proposal that needs finalising and sent on to a customer for approval. Once I've opened the document, I have a few last amendments which I need help with, so I'm contacting my colleague Mike to throw some ideas past him. Great, he'll see me in a meeting room soon. I can't take my thin client with me, but I've got my iPad in my bag. Citrix helps me become more mobile in the office space. Using my iPad, I'm able to carry on where I left off. My desktop, and more importantly, the data, my document, follows me too. As you can see, the desktop on the thin client has now hopped over to my iPad. Everything here, the app, the desktop, the data, that's all still secure. So that's IT happy. I'm happy because I'm using a device that suits my needs. I'm now more mobile around the office and I'm able to collaborate with my colleagues. So I had a great meeting with Mike, but it went on far too long and I didn't get the time to make all the changes to the document. But that's okay though. On my way home, I can still access the document securely on my mobile phone and with a great user experience, make those last few edits I missed out. Simply access the document, download it to my phone. Don't worry, it's still secure within this app. Okay, so I need to add some more content at home, but just need a reminder where. I can also make some small changes that I forgot. In this case, change the title. Save it, and that's now synced back for access later. Right, I'm back home now. This time I don't need to access a virtual desktop. Instead, I'm using my own personal MacBook and I'm going to hit the application directly. One benefit of using my own home computer is that I don't need to download any software to access my apps. It's all done through the browser and the user experience is great. Okay, we'll put it in full screen mode. Right, just got to make this final change and we're good to go. So we've just had a tour of my workspace and I've just shown you the day in the life of my data, but what positive outcomes does this have on the business by initiating this type of workspace? Well, first of all, there's boosting user productivity. The type of flexibility that a user now has by accessing apps and data from any location, not being bound to a desk, not having to follow set working hours, you'll start to find that it gives them a lot more freedom and a lot more ability to work around their personal life. The business could initiate a back to work initiative, focusing on maternity leavers, smoothing the transition back into the workplace and allowing them to work from home, increasing employee satisfaction with these types of services that you offer out to your employees. You can start to recruit the best people in the business and keep your most valuable assets, your MVPs, with the type of services and workplaces you can offer to your users. By not binding your users to desks and giving them the flexibility to work on the go and be more mobile and work from home, you can start to look at the environmental impacts that this could have, reduce your real estate costs, consolidate your office space. And by centralizing the delivery of your apps and data, you start to maintain control, set standards, and make sure that the access to the apps and data will remain secure and without compromise.